usual shout out Friday. This the first for the month of March 2025. Yeah. Again, let me just walk you through with what my shout out Friday means. Shout out Friday basically um, shows appreciation, love to what I refer to as my family. Yes, whether they are bloodline or not. Yeah, I consider everybody, including my followers, viewers, and subscribers, as family. It may be evening time in your jurisdiction, nighttime, morning time. Welcome wherever you are, whatever your circumstances is. Thank you for joining this live. Expecting, I guess, a fellow Canadian YouTuber to join me. I'm not sure what is happening at this point in time, but the link was sent. Just give me a minute there. So yes, he said he will join. So I await that. So in the meantime, yes, folks, let me just give you a little view of the outside. It's a nice, not hot, not humid, but it's a bright and sunny day today. I can feel the cooling effect of the breeze, and there is definitely some moisture in the air. Within the past days, uh, by extension week, we have been having some intermittent showers. Yeah, again, we're transitioning into the dry season, and as is customary, we would have a drop in rainfall, and by extension, a drop in the pipeline water. We just have to hope for the best, that throughout the dry season, we will get some good showers. Yes, and that was sort of a stave away us having to resort to the measures that were taken last time out when we had the acute dry season. Yeah. Seem as though you're probably, I'm not seeing you here. There seem to be some audio there, but all right.
Alright, on my cameras.
Yeah. Folks here waiting, my fellow Canadian guests
Let me join
here
it.
on this live, just having some issues there. So just give him a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll come back in again.
All right, no problem. I'm here. Yeah, folks. So we're waiting here to have as a guest on this live here, Brother Darren. They seem to be having some issue. Yeah, so I was discussing the issue here with the dry season and the onset of the dry season. The onset of the dry season. Yeah. Again, as I say, it's customary that during those time we have a drop in the water level. We also have, by extension, the fact that we have less potable water. Yeah. Again, it is hoped that that will not happen. All right, it seems to be ready. There is definitely some audio, but I'm still not seeing you, Brother Darrell. Still not seeing you. Take your time, man. Take your time.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Alright, so I'm gonna sort this out.
It's things that happen. I had my share of it.
Oh,
But I guess it's a learning curve for you and I as we proceed, yeah?
true, true. Okay, here what's up.
Folks just give me a minute. Yes, my friend. On a live here, tell me. Uh-huh. Yeah, no problem. You can pass today. So, come back. On a live day now. If you come back, yes. Okay. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Makes sense. Oh, the guy is here. So I had to run. All right. So as you say, no problem. See, but you're still having the issues there. I'm hearing you, but not seeing you.
I recognize.
And I was tempted there to ask you whether or not you wanted to do it. You would have preferred to do it on TikTok or do it on YouTube, But
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna change my channel. I'm
Okay,
gonna next channel because you had a
okay,
bit of.
and then try again because I'm here, as I say, I'm usually here for between 30 to 30 minutes to an hour. So
Okay, well
feel
that's
free.
nice. All right, so let me just change it up there
All
quickly.
right, man. Good. Yeah. Hey, sis. Good morning. Good morning, sister. How are you? What's the weather like across your neck of the woods this morning? I saw images within the past days of people in Times Square, literally, in one instance, I saw somebody half naked. So it's telling me something there. It's telling me that you're having a bit of a nice weather, quote unquote. So much so that you have people wearing short pants, sleeveless, maybe a light jacket. What's it like today? What's it like today? Yeah. Um, they are nuts. Thank you for joining me live. I'm waiting, I guess. Oh, he's here again. Let me try. Seems to be the same problem there with the dial.
Yeah.
Just audio. No, 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 no. All right. All right. I'm seeing your face there now. In the
Okay.
profile now.
Camera is not funny. So the camera is here.
So, folks, we are hoping that Brother Darrell could resolve the issues that he have in there and to join us. It's as I say, it's a fellow Grenadian vlogger. It's just for us to exchange and share ideas. Collaborate. Because I guess we're in the same thing. So we're just awaiting. Hey, Sister Sharon. So, what's the weather like? What's the weather like there today? So in the meantime, separating apart from my sister there uh, across the miles, let me just show. It's nice today, sis. It's not too sunny. It's not humid. It's not hot. We have a nice breeze that is blowing. Let me just give you a bit of it there. Yeah, you see, we have some cloud coverage. I can feel the cooling effect of the breeze. And over the past days, as I was saying earlier on, we've been having some intermittent showers. Again, I don't know if it's the effect of spring, yeah, but it has been really, really nice. The night times has been very, very cool, yeah. The sun is not as pronounced as it normally is. Oh, it's overcast. Oh, it's mild but overcast on your end. So I guess is it showing signs that you may get some rain on your side as well too? I, I can hear the cock crowing on your head there, man. Just, so I'm seeing the profile picture. I don't know if, as it is, um, you would want to go ahead with the interview, or I always prefer that there is some visibility.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing, yeah. But it's okay if you'd like to go on with the interview. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
All right. So we can go ahead then. Folks, let me welcome fellow Grenadian, fellow content creator. We only just met, and I said just a few days ago. I guess I'm getting on TikTok and came across. I always like to be able to share with my fellow Grenadians and people from the diaspora. Especially as it relates to their style. You know. So as I was saying in my message earlier on, so this is a live that I customarily do every Friday. Shout out Friday, I refer to it as, and I shout out and show appreciation, show love to my family, quote unquote. Whether or not they are bloodline, subscribers, viewers, I refer to everybody as family. Yeah.
very nice.
So I want you first of all to introduce yourself, give us a bit um, of insight into your journey, how long it started, what is your aim, etc., etc. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my name is Daryl David. Most persons are gonna know me from Daryl David Vlogs. Um, I also got a few other channels, Grenada Lifestyle, and I'm still doing a new channel on how to create, but this one is a little bit low still. So for now, I'm focusing on Daryl David Vlogs and also Grenada Lifestyle. So content creation, how it has been for me, like what inspired me to start content creation as a young vlogger from the island of Grenada. I will say I had some multiple challenges where I actually had started and then I had stopped. Um, I will say, like to most persons who may want to start content creation, is not really 100% of, I can say, a willpower if he doesn't got a little motivation with you. So that was my first mistake there. Starting content creation, I loved it. I always wanted to share my experience with the world. I always wanted to help persons, let them see how easy it is that you can make a living from at least easy access stuff that has been given to us. And we should use it to the best of our abilities. Like never underestimate yourself when it comes to pushing your limits because
Share that
I've
sentiment.
come to learn that all the things that you need in life to be successful is never into your comfort zone, but always away from your comfort zone. So I've learned that, and that have driven my focus into content creation. And as I was saying first, my first channel I had started, it was like I haven't had much motivation in me to continue, so I had stopped. But then I found courage, like I went back to YouTube, and the momentum I gave to myself was like, why don't become a creator and become a scroller? Like I used to be scrolling a lot, and then when I have made up a lot of stuff, I've been like, I think I can show the world something, like I gotta have something to give to the world, like it could be the young persons, it can be the aged persons, but more like to the young person
Right.
because persons look on young persons.
Like an inspiration, basically. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
more like inspiration to them to give them that urge to start something in life. Even
Right.
though I do um get most of the young persons in my area to try to get into content creation. I try to give them a little boosting to shove them inside there. Like it's a game changing for the later future. I've always seen it as this, and also I have never seen it as something that is going to be rewarded in the next 2 year or in the next year. I always have seen it as a long term investment,
Oh, yes,
and
it is.
that is why I wanted to show young persons that you don't have to think of now, you don't have to think of being successful now, but you can plan it for the future.
Great.
So this has driven my and focus into content creation. And the next question you said were,
What is your aim? Because each person has something that they want to do, focus on. In other words, your niche. What are you? What your style? What would you bring to the table in terms of your style in the
nice.
content creation world?
So in the content creation world, what I want to bring to the whole world, the motivation part of um, helping inspire young persons. Because from my whole story of it, I have seen like many ways of life where any young person can become a better person in the space of 2, 3 years time. So my experiences had showed me reasons to be on YouTube to do content creation in the form of motivating youths, show
Okay.
the way to go, trying to inspire them in as much as what I do. So on this channel here, I do have like the vlogs that is gonna be um I do a little piece of everything because I want to
Mhm.
show persons that even if you want to start something and I am doing a niche that is not in your fitting, then I'm gonna
Mhm.
try to find a niche that is gonna be like suiting to your line.
Right.
So in case that you love that content, in case that you want to get inspired into it, then you can actually always hit me up on it, and I'm gonna do my best to bring
Okay.
out the best content ever, like to give persons that drive to start a channel and to make it in life, because I believe that everyone could.
Okay. Okay. So
So
as it is, as it is, they know your aim is to be more consistent. More
yes,
consistent.
more consistent than ever.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
before words, I can say like I didn't have all the time that I needed
Right.
when it to content creation before, because I did businesses.
Right.
The timing were not 100% accurate. So the timing were here and there, and I didn't get enough time to be spending on the content creation part of YouTube, and then I had to go back to attend to businesses. So for now, I have actually like put these things into place where
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be using my time very wisely, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something I can encourage persons on when it comes to time. Like people say time is money, and it is very, very true. You have to be in the position to understand when they say time is money, how important it is. And I have seen that even I have jumped the gun a bit by saying that my age is a little bit like 25 years, so I'm pretty young,
Right.
and
Right.
learn those stuff not too late, but I'm still considering it. I should have at least learned it earlier, but
Right.
in the
Right.
right preparation still, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
work with it.
Right. It's
And
never too late. That much I can tell you. It's never too late. Go right ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
and that is what I want to actually show a lot of young persons, that in the time of doing those stuff, like I believe that if younger persons that is even way younger than me, like from high school age, 15, 16, and they start their content creation, by the ending of their school term, 5 year period, they should
Mm.
have a very good following there, and they should
Agreed.
monetize and start having a life. So I try to bring that out a lot to young
Right.
persons, because I want young persons to see the opportunities that has been put out there, not for who actually has it. And what I am happy about is that YouTube is actually like free a free place to actually start a business without any expenditures whatsoever.
Right. Right.
So you just got a phone, and I started with not the best phone. I mean, I started with
Right.
a phone that was not 100%, like the camera wasn't that 100, and all I had in my mind, the momentum I had there was just to start and
And
run.
that is usually the biggest kicker. That
Exactly.
starts it.
That's the biggest for a lot of young persons.
Yes.
And I've interviewed a lot of young persons to get
Right.
into creation. They will be like, you should act. I want to have a good device before I can start content creation. And I want to have all the necessary tools before I start content creation. And my advice was to them like, I have seen it always as a journey. Like I'm not sure what they're looking at. If they're just looking at the part that the money, like
I believe, and you know how it is with them at this stage.
yes,
I believe that is what the focus
that
is. They're just focusing on the price,
that's
but
it
it's a journey,
exactly.
and the results would don't necessarily come immediately. It differs from person to person, but
True.
you have to put in
Yeah,
to get out.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that part there.
Yep. Yep.
And I believe that's the whole focus of young persons, not seeing the long term visions of goal because they want to have it now.
Right.
And if
Right.
they don't know, they don't believe that they're moving on with their lives.
Right.
So I think they should, like most young persons, consider the thoughts and always try to be consistent, try to like motivate yourself. And even when it comes to motivating yourself, the biggest thing that I can say here for a lot of persons, even myself, is try to be a self motivating person because I've learned that along the journey.
Right.
Uh, that was the termination of my first YouTube channel. I was not self motivated. I didn't get the help I needed, so I decided that I would have just, quit it off and continue what I was doing, like
Mhm.
talking about it because my self motivating ability weren't as strong as it is today.
Right.
And
Right.
I've
Right.
continued, and then I've seen ways that I had opened up, and I've seen ways that I have changed, and I've seen the way I were before in the past 4 years from this channel, and
Right.
also the second channel that I'm seeing how quickly it's been growing,
Right.
and even giving me a little bit more motivation. So
Right.
to everyone, even myself again, because things can happen. Sometimes I may fall in a little trauma, and I may want
Huh?
to feel like up because we're not immune.
Right.
Everyone goes through the same things in life. So I just want to say that to all the young persons, to all the listeners so far, because I know it's young still, so we're going to be getting into some other topics and so forth. That starting a YouTube channel is never a bad thing.
Right.
It's always been a good thing, and I believe maybe that's the whole reason, Mr. Lescott here.
I'm going to share my story once you finish
So I,
that.
you know, I've gotten my fair share of it. So
Right.
I would love to be hearing and learning something from you now. So
Right. 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 So let me just give you a little backdrop into my journey.
cool.
So I worked for the power company Grenlec for over 39, almost 40 years. Retired about a year ago.
Uh,
And an active person. I've always been an active person, not sit down kind of person. I mean,
uh,
if you see me and I tell you I'm 61, you would question the validity of that statement. Yeah.
great to hear.
So I decided, I say, you know what, boy? Um, I had a mentor. My lady granddaughter is a YouTuber. She lives in Florida. That's in the States. And to every time she comes, we would go around and do stuff. And I start feeling, you know, the vibes in terms of doing that. And she started giving me the encouragement. I go tell you the biggest thing is to start, you're kind of apprehensive. What do you say? How do you do it? What do you do? You know? But As with everything, practice. You keep practicing. And I remember I did some research into what do you do? How do you go about speaking, engaging people on this platform? And I remembered one of them said, go about it as though you're speaking. You see, like you're
Yeah.
speaking to your family member or friend.
True.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And over time, it got better. And it's getting better. I mean, it's a journey, yeah, and no doubt about it. It is a journey. So my first YouTube channel was under the name Community Connection with the K's instead of the C. K. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as in local parlance, they say when donkey know about toothpaste, what happens. So I went in there and I keep dabbling and things happen. And I deleted in error the channel. By that time, I did some wonderful interviews. I had some nice content. It was going
Yeah.
up. So I petitioned YouTube, the owners. They sent it back. They restored it. But they were taking so long, I started to get discouraged and went ahead and created another channel. So by the time within a day they created that channel, my original channel was restored
Wow.
in an attempt now to delete that which I created prior to them restoring the community connection. Guess what happened? The community connection became the default. And so when I tried to delete the newer channel, everything went. I went ahead again and I tried to petition them. And, well, I'm still awaiting the results. By that time, I just went ahead and I created this channel, Adventures and Lescott, and it started in September the 14th last year. So I'm sort of a new, unlike
Cool.
you, that has been in it.
Right.
Um, I'm on several platforms, but the main platform for me thus far is YouTube. So I'm on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, and I have a link to Amazon affiliate channel that I hope eventually to grow. But you have to get to a certain level as you maybe aware before that can take off. So and again, to my aim as far as content creation is to educate, entertain,
Yes.
and raise issues. I'm not on any political journey. I always say that, but there are things that you would want to discuss. It may be on a political nature, social, what have you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had the time to go in to look at some of the things I would have posted. Lately, I have been doing a lot on the roads. Yeah. Just to raise awareness to the motoring public and by extension, the authorities to the things that, as in my opinion, that is unseen because I try to go beneath the surface. Yeah,
Yeah.
we travel a lot of the roads. You see a lot of cracks and what have you, and unbeknown to us, there are things at the bottom that need fixing. You look at the style of repairs in the roads that we have. It's cosmetics. They
Mm-hmm.
just come and they just put a layer of binding and what have you on the existing issues or sorrows that we call them. And within a week, 2 weeks, the same thing happens, you know? And I'm convinced that we could do better. I
Exactly.
always say to that, look, the roads and the bridges that we have are ancient. They were not made for the types of vehicles, the size of the vehicles, and the weight of the vehicles that we currently have. You understand? So
Yeah.
if the authorities take the time out to put a plan together and let us focus, for example, on the main roads, we're killing two birds with one stone. We're
So
upgrading the roads and we're putting a bite into unemployment because that would create jobs for persons for years.
true.
You understand? And you can tell from how I'm speaking, I'm passionate about that.
Yes,
you
sir.
know. And these are things I'm seeing. I'm no intelligentsia, I'm no politician, but these are things I'm seeing by myself as I go around the country because my content creation,
Yes.
creating takes me in Grenada, Carriacou, Piti, Martinique, Barbados, across the Caribbean, wherever I go. You know, I showcase and make comparisons, you know, to
Yes.
issues that we have. So that is my niche, basically. You know, it's a progressive one, it's a entertaining one, and an educative one. Yeah, that is my aim. As I say, I just scratching the surface. I'm sort of a behind you, you know, in terms of your subscription and your viewership. But, you know, I'm trying to put in the time and I know eventually the results will come.
Yes, man.
So
I
that
love
has
that.
been my journey and I would continue along those lines. I would also hope that I could collaborate with not just you, but the Grenadians and
Yes.
maybe abroad, you know, to showcase what we have and talk about issues. Yeah. So I was so
I,
happy as, you know, as I say, when I came on, and I saw and I asked the question and you told me you're a Grenadian. You know, I say, you know, then we have a collaboration one time, you know. Where do
and
you live though? Which part of Grenada?
I got Walker St. Andrews. And I do believe that you should know Mr. Wayne.
Of course, Wayne and I used to supervise Wayne.
Nice. So,
Hear the joke. I came in there and I did an interview with a gentleman with the Rome Museum.
oh, cool. Well,
And that was on my original channel, Community Connection.
so your room museum. Ah,
So I know the ins and out of the island.
true.
I have a cousin. He lived
Yes,
in Trinidad for a lot of years, living close by when he produced grind spices and what have you. His name is Ian.
yes, yes, yes.
Ian is my cousin. And I
Oh,
only got to know him just about a year or two ago because he lived in Trinidad for a lot of years.
okay,
So it's
cool.
a small world. I may have passed seeing you and not
And
even know it.
true, true, true. But when
But
you
I
say
I
that,
I I grew up in the town, in the heart of the city, Grenville Street. That's the street above the market. When you come down Market Hill and you make
yes,
the right turn, that whole
yes,
street, yeah.
oh yeah,
So I grew up there. I attended the Anglican junior and primary school on Church Street. Then
yes,
I went to Presentation Brothers College and then Grenlec. At the time, Grenlec head office was on Halifax Street. So
uh,
everything was just a stone throw from where I'm at. But since that time,
cool,
I bought
yes,
lands, built house, got married, and I'm living
yes,
in Marion. Marion Coco Road. I don't know if you're familiar with that area there. It's
yes,
just, oh, you're familiar?
yeah, from the
Yes.
area.
Yes, and that's where I have been for the past 30 plus years. My mother and I, yeah. I have a sister, but she lives abroad, and that's a sister by mother because on my father's side is about 14 of us.
Wow,
Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for joining this live. Thanks for joining this live. You say it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
mix.
Yeah. So, you know,
I will make myself available to be on the live stream on Fridays
thank you
because
very
I
much, man.
for the
Thank you
same
very much.
or looking for the collaboration. All we have looked, like we
Yeah.
have been
Whenever you're doing anything to one, you think you could invite me to your live as well. You know, you come in
even
and we just collaborate
the
and talk, you know, encourage people because that's what it's all about. I believe to, I hear them sometimes just for conversation sake. You hear they talk about food security, and sometimes I question: is it just lip service? Do you know that we don't even have a seed bank in Grenada?
no,
Grenada does not possess a seed bank, and I'm referring to a seed bank where we have heirloom seeds, not the GMO seeds that you see
yes, man.
going around now,
Um,
that we could share with farmers, we could share with green thumb people, and you
yes,
ensure that once harvest time comes, that they give you back some of the seeds that you could then spread around. We don't have that. That is but one thing I see. So where are we going? Additionally, you and I know that the youths today, they don't want anything hard, but they
True.
must be continuity in terms of farming. The farmers,
Exactly.
and so that we have three-quarter of them are elderly folks. The kids went away. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the times when the kids go abroad, when they do come back, they want to spend a week, 2 weeks. They want this kind of hard work.
True.
When these farmers and them are no longer able to do the farming, what happens? The lands are sold. People are building houses. So we
Right.
have to make agriculture, make farming palatable for the youths in
Yes.
order to get them involved. You know, and again, it's things that I look at. You know,
Right.
I do my little here in my own little space, but these are little things we could focus on, you know, to make
True. Because
us more food secure, you know.
exactly. And I
I don't
still
know what you
believe.
think, but you know, but that's just my, you know, my 2 cents on the way I see things
Yes.
and the way I figure we could change things, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I still believe that we are so small as Grenadians. And when you were relating to the farming, I do farming. I am a farmer myself.
Right,
Uh, I used to run my nursery seedlings plants, but now I've put it down for a hold because of the way that you just said. Farming is actually cropping in Grenada.
right.
And as a young farmer,
let,
I
let, let me just interject here a bit. So my sister was just saying we have to bring it back to the schools. You remember that we used to have
yes,
4-H and what have you? My
ex-
sister on the live from about
yes,
just saying, well, you would see the practical and theory. I
cool,
agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Sorry about that. Go ahead there, and brother Darren.
very nice. So, as I was saying too, yes, relating to the farming section, I can say that I've seen as a young person, I've
Mm-hmm.
not much experience in farming or business or like starting off because I just started off. But as I have spent at least 3 years now into the field, I've got to understand a lot of different things. And
Right,
I am myself the same reason that there is no juice for young persons to be farming. And even if word of mouth is good, but it's still not enough to inspire a young person to continue doing
exactly.
farming. The biggest mistake that I've seen, like for our child and state, is when it comes to marketing. I believe that the strategy that should be put in place is because we have the accessibilities, we have the rivers, we have good water source, we also
Right.
have soil pH, and this is one of a very effective thing that I can say for Grenada. When it comes to food,
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that we import more than we export, and I do
Oh,
believe that
oh
has
yes,
potential to feed ourselves and still have to export on the outside.
I
But
agree.
I'm not sure what vision that like the political persons in charge of government are actually like doing or what are the focus. They do say that they focus on young persons, they focus on building agriculture, they focus on developing, but it's like every day I'm seeing one person more dropping off agriculture and start looking for a different job in a different field, and it's dying the nation. And right about now,
Right,
agriculture products are like high prices right here now, ridiculously, and persons are complaining. And what I can say also, persons are complaining with the word of mouth on the street and the other medias.
right,
You can turn on your media as you go around, you see the different things, you made a video of it and you speak about it. You raise the concern to the persons in authority so that they can look into those stuff and hoping that they do look into those stuff to make the place a better place. Because I'm saying we're small, we should be the most developed, I can say, Caribbean country because we're small. We have at least good food. Mangoes, see, we can do the processing of mangoes, plum stews, we have breadfruit, we can make breadfruit flour.
and
Breadfruit are just
breadfruit, we don't even harvest as much as quarter. Well,
exactly
I shouldn't say harvest. We don't even utilize or use at least quarter of the breadfruit and the mangoes and so they, that we have.
that.
So many
True.
things that we could do in that regard. But you know,
Why? I really hope that, like, in the future that there are some, I know that they may need some sort of educational skills. You should know how to go about doing the processing. So
Right.
as how they can bring in someone to just do the flow mat
Mm-hmm.
and have someone from the Ministry of Agriculture pick up the flow mat or pick up the remedy and then share it out to the community base. There is community services, community centers in at least every village that we know.
Sure. Yep.
So build together that momentum to bring persons to have the practical sessions with the agriculture, as your sister was saying.
Right.
Let them learn to do this, learn to do the stuffs. When it comes to the loans and stuff, it's kind of hectic again there because persons may want to start business relating to the developing in agriculture, in food processing, and based on their background level of experiences, they will not be able to get a loan because of certain circumstances. So I seen it as a way that can build, and Grenada can be a better nation, a bigger nation, a more resourceful nation. We're gonna have at least more not big factories, but at least many self-employed factories where persons that are living in school right now, as you were saying, can get employment, even
Mm-hmm.
with the road stuff. This can bring out jobs for young persons to continue as we continue going on in Grenada. And I'm looking at it as a different skill. And the reason why I have done content creation on my Facebook, because it's actually blocked now, so I don't
Right.
even know
Right.
the reason it's blocked. But the same thing that you were doing there, I used to raise the same content on Facebook, and
Right.
I had at least a 5,000 follower list, and
Right.
I was going strong. But then I don't know what went on, and my content has been blocked. But
Okay.
I'm stopping to bring the content out because I believe that even when it comes to schools, I was even saying to myself that for young persons anywhere in the world, I believe that's the same procedure that
Right.
you're gonna work hard, you're gonna have a following of subjects, and then you're not gonna be able to get a job.
Right.
So I've looked into it and I've said to myself that why doesn't the government invest in a practical situation in schools or
Mm-hmm.
even schools linked with businesses on holiday times where young persons can gain the experience by working for no wages because they cannot pay tax.
Right.
So you're working no wages, but you're just working to gain an experience in the field that you will want to become in the future.
Right.
So young persons gonna want to become farmers. They're gonna want to know about farming. The school should actually have a practical session on the holiday season where the young persons can meet with a different job area. If you want to do accounting, managing, you know, you work as
Right.
an
Right.
and you're getting that.
Accessible training.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you leave the schooling session and you enter to a job, you write an application to a job, your school can recommend you as a has gained some knowledge and experience in that field. So you can be able to have that job with ease. And it's just like children are being taught and school has been come to an end the tuition,
Mm-hmm.
some of colleges, and then they'll come back to like the same square one. You're back home, you have nothing. You're not gonna get accepted into a job because it doesn't have the experience. Um, it may forces you to travel because
Right.
you may want to seek better opportunities, and I believe these are the things that has been killing our nation, and
Right.
these are the things that are gonna continue to kill our nation because I'm not saying that because I speak about it because I want to see it happen, but I haven't seen any betterment from since I have left my schooling and I've left different sites because I've been a lot of places for a short period of, of time. So
Right. Right.
I've even all the way to helping get the Empower program. I were there part of it.
Right.
I've been through the Empower program.
Right.
I I've sit with many high men in this country
Mm-hmm.
in terms of planning stuff for the country. So I have a very good knowledge of to setting up stuffs properly done. And I'm not saying that I should do it or someone else should do it in the sense of like you want to be in the position to do it. But if someone can raise the concern, then I believe that someone should at least look into it.
Right,
You
right.
know,
And I
and
believe with your kind of knowledge and expertise too, I'm quite sure if that avails itself, you would be only too willing and ready to assist. I'm quite sure that,
Yes.
based on what you say.
Yes.
But let me
Yes.
just focus on a few issues there too. Now, the issue of predial larceny is
Yeah.
a burning,
Huh.
burning, burning, burning one for a lot of families. You know the amount of time, the effort, the work, money's involved in the
Yes.
production, the preparation of the lands. And at the end of the day, when harvest time comes, you cannot reap the fruits of your labor. You know how disheartening that could be?
True. Really true.
You feel
Really.
as though at that point in time you want to take matters into your own hands. And I don't know if um, they have is it a farm watch or something? If
Yeah.
it's effective or how effective it is,
Not
but pray dear last and trust me,
it's really
it's discouraging.
true.
It
Very
really
true.
is discouraging. No, yesterday I attended, the usual to try to get content and what have you, a international culinary cuisine 2025 and exposition sponsored by TAM-CC.
Okay. Cool.
And I first visited the culinary section,
Yes.
and when I look, you have more females involved in that division than males.
Yes. Hmm.
And sometimes, even before that, I oftentimes ask myself why. When you pass around the length and breadth of the island, by the side of the road, who are you seeing by the rum shops alignment? Young men.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if it's because the women are more intelligent, or are they applying themselves more than the men? There are a
I
lot of the young men that you're seeing by the side of the roads and by the rum shop, intelligent and with qualifications.
yeah.
And you oftentimes wonder what is happening? What is happening?
Ah.
So it's an uphill battle
True.
to get them involved because they are the future.
True.
They are the future. You have, again, I always go back to the word continuity. There has to be continuity.
Exactly. Consistency.
I don't know what's your take. Yeah.
My as you even raised the concern of young men. Before you said the first part there, I was even having that same part in my head that um young persons, like in the sense of the male division, ha, I've been seeing it like it's like a joke right now because like young men should be like more resilient, more ready to be at leaders, and more ready to take responsibility and more ready to lead this nation. Like in the future and continue leading. But now it's like as you said, mostly females are actually like outnumbering men
Oh, yes, they're leading
in
the way.
and every session
Yeah.
that person went to go to. Even like if I am following up the news, like when they has community sessions, you're gonna find more of the female being present. And the young men, as you said, most of them full of the education, full of the knowledge. And I have like interviewed a lot of young persons, like asking them, like, you have such a talent, you have such a potential, and what caused you to stop, or what is actually hindering you from moving forward. And most of them may say that based on experiences and based on, but I been like real with them, like saying these are excuses because like
Yeah, because you
I
you 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 you
come up
wonder, what experience they're talking about, and at that kind of level, what experience?
and we all face the same thing. And is the thing what I can say from young persons, like what I've got so far is that young persons believe that they are the only ones that are going through a lot of things in life, and they tend to give up at that stage because they believe that it's them that's alone that's going through that. And it's like I have to bring my experience to the board by sharing with them that okay, you're not the first person in that situation, you're not the last person in that situation. even my whole background. That's why actually it inspires me to be here. Like
Right.
any conversation like this, I will want to be there to share my input because like how I have where I've came from and where I'm heading right now, I have seen a big difference. And a
Right.
whole difference started with me being consistent, not giving
Right.
up, and actually not giving into the situation.
Right.
And many times young persons give into the situation even before it gets rough. What I've come to learn also, winning never teaches you anything. When you're winning or when you're being successful, everything is just nice. There's nothing there to learn. But when you are losing, when you are failing, this gives you opportunity to see life differently, see life better, take take a different approach of life. And young persons, at a point in time, I sit home and try to like strategize ways that I can bring to like touch the hearts of young persons
Mhm.
to show them that, bro, like you're young. Like I'm hearing like most elderly persons right now are saying like the way that they have regretted most of the decision of their younger days, where they should have been right now because of maybe the companies, because of the road that they took, and they have seen a great loss within themselves, and they're actually regretting it. And young persons, young, vibrant, and strong persons are actually out there and they just want to live their life. I mean, I'm not stopping anyone from living their life, but you should have a positive focus, a positive approach to the way you live your life and what you want to accomplish. And
But two
even,
things, just let me
yes,
just add to what you're saying. Now, I know I may get a lot of bashing for saying what I'm saying. Um, I came to the realization a few
yes,
years ago that did you know that women are strong? Women are
yes,
strong persons. I mean, just imagine carrying a fetus for 9 months,
mm-hmm.
doing the usual things, going to work, washing, cooking, cleaning.
Tell me about
Yeah?
it. Yes,
We as men folk, we always exude or try to put out this macho kind of image. We might be hurting inside, you know,
yes,
but mind you, behind closed doors, we go cry and what have you. I'm just being realistic.
yes,
I'm just
yes,
being realistic. Separate and apart from that, in the case of the youths,
mm-hmm.
charity begins at home.
True,
I say that the parents, the family structure
true,
needs to be more proactive.
yes,
We do not
true,
have this communityism as before. That is no longer. I
true.
remember as a little boy growing up, when I
Uh,
think so I do something outside, the neighbor could give me a two rap or hit me
mm,
and still go and call my mother. And guess what would happen? You think your mother would quarrel with her? More blues, more blues. So these are some of the little things, that I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we could go back. And another thing too, we have to be always remember from whence we came. Try to remain grounded. Yeah. The things that were applicable years ago, we need to tweak it to make
yeah,
it applicable for these days. Because
real,
you see what's happening. Times have certainly changed.
real big.
Yeah.
Times change real big.
It's just little things, in my opinion, it's just little things. But
Li- That's true. The little things
yeah,
that are
yeah,
the
yeah,
difference in
yeah,
our.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess so much what we are doing. I hope that my camera turns on.
Yes. So let me
Like
say thank you,
check
thank
it out.
you, thank you a million, Brother Doral, for being a part of this live. Again, I want to thank all the other persons that joined the live. Sister Lizzie, all the other followers and viewers, wherever you are. Just before I go, I just wanted to share a quote. Let's bear with me there. I
Yes.
just wanted to share a thought and a quote.
This is the quote.
So, my thought for today, taken from Google, as always, to thrive in life, you need three bones. wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. I just repeat. To thrive in life, you need three bones: a wishbone, a backbone, sorry, and a funny bone. Think about it. And
Nice.
lastly, I want to leave a quote. Keep your
Yes.
face always towards the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. There is nothing, either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this live. I do hope that you enjoy the rest of the day and by extension, the weekend. Brother Darrell, I will be on the TikTok, visiting with you. I hope
Okay.
we can do the same. And I hope we can
Can do
go
it.
from strength to strength after this day is
Yes.
ended. Have an enjoyable
Yeah.
rest of the day, man. Thanks again.
You
All the
too, sir.
best.
No
Okay,
problem.
bye.
All right. Good day, everyone.